on the coast of North Carolina, and we've done one Cabernet Franc so far on the show, Jeff, and that was the Shelton Vineyards Cabernet Franc. You and I both liked it a lot.
Yeah, we did.
And that was grown in the Yadkin Valley region of North Carolina, which is what 3.5, 4 hours, northeast of Ocean Isle, probably.
Something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
So we're probably going to see a very different type of Cabernet Franc because it's grown in a very different place.
Right.
But I think it's going to be interesting nonetheless. What do you think of this packaging?
Well, I think the bottle seems to be like a pretty standard bottle.
No punt in this one.
Okay.
Flat bottle here.
Okay. And there's a painting of some flowers, and in fact, on the side of the bottle there's an artist's credit. So there may be more to this story about this artist. Maybe check the Silver Coast website. I don't know if it's probably a local beach artist. That would be my guess.
Well, so artist aside, story behind it aside, Jeff, the story now behind this bottle of wine is $15. Excuse me, $15 retail.
Okay.
We got this at the North Carolina Ag Fest because Silver Coast is not actually distributed anywhere that I know of in the Raleigh area where Jeff and I both live. But so we bought this from their booth. But if we were going to go pick this up off a shelf in a store, how would this label would it get your attention?
I don't know that anything about this label jumps out at me. I think the name of the winery sort of falls back, and even the name of the wine.
Visually, I like the painting aspect of it. I think it's different because we've gone over. Some of them have really boring kind of crests and everything from a label perspective. But I agree they could do some things with the typeface to bring the winery and the varietal a little bit more to the forefront. And they have a description of this wine. So in a minute, of what this wine should taste like. So in a minute, Jeff and I will see if they were on point or not with this one.
Or if we're on point.
Yes. So we'll read you that to you maybe after we taste ours, so that we can kind of compare notes. You want to get ready to smell the wine?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that's where we are. Smelling some wine in this big glass.
Okay.
Kip's going to tell you
So
about.
guys,
I like this glass.
These are traditionally Pinot Noir glasses, or Burgundy glasses, as they may be known. But what you really find is that wine glasses do change the way you taste the wine. Depending on how the opening is shaped over the top and how big the opening is at the top is going to depend on how you smell the aromas coming off the wine. So with this wider opening than maybe a traditional wine glass, we should be able to get a little bit more of the aroma. And now this could be a bad thing, especially if the wine was high in alcohol, because we get too much alcohol on that nose. But this is a lower in alcohol wine. I believe it's about 12% alcohol. From looking at it, it's pretty light bodied. It kind of looks like a Pinot Noir. It is not a heavy, deep red color. It is much more a lighter red in terms of the a little bit of legs in the glass, but overall pretty light, but clear. Looks pretty tasty. Let's give it a smell.
Okay.
I'm kind of enjoying it.
I'm working on my swirl technique here, not to slosh this out.
Yeah, you gotta make sure. See, like we filled up maybe between a quarter and a third of the glass. You never want to fill up more than that because it makes swirling and really smelling the wine a challenge. And guys, this isn't pretentious. You're just trying to figure out experience this, what really is behind this wine, what flavors are in this wine, so that you can enjoy it and enjoy it with your meal or however you may be having it.
That's right. And swirling the wine actually opens it up and brings the flavors out. So that's why I'm working on my swirl technique to bring these flavors out.
What are you smelling, Mr. Jeff?
Well, I am smelling the strawberry.
There's definitely some strawberry going on. And there's some pepper.
Is there pepper?
There's some pepper going on. Some when you ever had that really finely ground out of the little tin pepper? That's what this smells like.
Okay.
That's really all I'm getting from the most part. I'm not getting too much oak or anything like that.
Okay.
You wanna give this a go?
Give it a try. Yeah, let's see how it is.
I'm very conflicted about this wine. There are things I really enjoy about it, things I don't enjoy about it. It's a little thin. It's a little thin for me.
Yeah.
But there's some really good fruit there. Some really good berry flavor. There's a nice little peppery. The tannins are, the finish is kind of a little peppery, and I enjoy that. And that's very good. And it's well balanced. There's not too much alcohol.
Okay.
There's not too much oak for me. What are you thinking? What are you feeling from this?
I'm really feeling the tannins.
Okay.
That sort of bite on the side of your tongue and on your inside of your mouth.
Guys, keep in mind, I don't know if we mentioned this before, this is a 2007 Cabernet Franc. So, in terms of a red wine, very young. It's probably only been in the bottle a few months. And 6 months from now, the tannins may really refine. The tannins aren't too much for me, but I could see if you're very sensitive to tannins, maybe letting this sit for another 3 to 6 months. I will say that's the coolest thing about wine, is that you can buy 6 bottles of the same exact wine at the same exact time and drink them over time, and they'll taste different every time because wine changes every time, and it's so cool. So what else do you think, Aaron?
Let's see. Let's see if I can find that fruit.
Cherries. Red cherries, like the Bing cherries, right in the front.
Okay, yeah.
Right when you're starting, when you're starting. And then, as I'm sitting here talking to you, vanilla. I'm getting some vanilla. The lingering finish is vanilla. Yeah. What are your thoughts? What else? What other opinions do you have about this Cabernet Franc? Anything? Do you like? I can't read what Jeff is thinking about this wine. I don't know if he likes it or if he doesn't like it.
It is not doing much for me.
Okay.
It's not doing much for me. I feel like I do sense that it is kind of thin. There's not a lot of body.
That is my biggest problem with this wine. I mean, I think flavor-wise, it's pretty good. It's a little too tannic for you, and I understand that.
Right.
But not too much for me. And the fruit flavors well, and I really like the pepper. It's the body is kind of ruining the experience for me.
Like
it's a little too thin.
Right. There's not enough there.
I mean, if this wine was kind of thicker and juicier, if that makes any sense, it would just be so good.
Yeah.
So good to me. The weight is really what throws this off. That being said, I don't think it's a bad wine.
No.
In my book, this is a 3-bottle wine. And on our rating scale.
Well, I would probably call it 2.5, but I will go with 3 for you.
Okay, all right. So we've decided on 3.
Yep.
At $15, it's a little high in the price point, but definitely not something to steer away from. And I do think it's a good summer red, because it is very light-bodied. So definitely go with that if you're looking for a light-bodied red, but don't want to go with a Pinot Noir or something like that would be traditional. But that's kind of my take. Lots of vanilla coming from the oak on this, but not too much oak. I'm kind of enjoying it.
And again, this is a Cabernet Franc from a totally different part of the state.
And it tastes completely different.
That's right. It seems like a totally different kind of wine.
The body, the weight of the wine is different. The flavor profile of the wine is different. Completely different wine. And I would have told you that it would have came from a very different place in a different year. The Cabernet Franc we had was 2005.
Right.
This is 2007. This is a much younger wine. That's why I think the tannins are a little much for you. But overall, not an effort to be ashamed of for the Silver Coast folks. The body is what's really stopping this wine from being a showstopper to me.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, that's another episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Silver Coast 2007 Cabernet Franc. Until